Greetings, Metanthropes. I am your host and editor John, and welcome to another live stream, reporting live as Metanthropes Anthologies Kickstarter participating Zinequest 2025 is also live, and you can see the live updates over here. So if you want to make a game creator scream and shout and let it all out, please consider backing us today, backing us right now, and you will see the changes live on your screen. Today is a live stream all about the lore of Metanthropes, specifically the lore of Anthologies, and specifically one of the 3 volumes, which is Astral. So today is all about the astral dimension, dreams, subconsciousness, but also politics and backstabbing. So sit back, relax, and allow me to tell some dreamy stories and take your mind elsewhere, take your worries away, and travel to an ethereal realm full of possibilities. So let us begin, why don't we? If you are new here, if you're wondering what's going on, Metanthropes is greetings, Fovo. Woo! The beard is getting longer indeed. We are here reporting live, and we are going to discuss about the astral dimension, the realm of dreams, the realm of subconscious, and also the story that takes place in one of the anthologies. And yes, if you're new, if you're hearing us for the very first time, Metanthropes Anthologies is the first official supplement of Metanthropes, and it takes players and their protagonists across various timelines, sending missions across the multiverse, unraveling the mythos of the game, but also giving them the chance to unlock the extraordinary within. So each zine introduces a totally new different world, a new setting, and totally different aesthetics, quests, things to do, NPCs to talk to, locations to visit. And if you combine all 3, you can create a multiversal story like no other, with dozens of hours of storytelling for you and your friends. But today we're gonna focus in just one of the 3 anthologies, which is Astral. So prepare yourselves. Are you sitting back? Are you relaxing? Follow you with us? Let's go. Enter an alternative version of a modern world, much like our own, a twisted reflection really, where the entire globe spins under the whims of the concert master Oneiros, which is on the cover of the zine. And if you're wondering what a concert master is the most powerful metanthrope of an entire timeline. But as players are about to discover, the most powerful metanthrope of an entire timeline is not necessarily the most powerful being of an entire timeline, because there are many scales of power in this thing. There are levels in this thing. And there, this concert master Oneiros, who is a rogue Collectiva faction member, one of the multiversal factions, claims that has found a pocket realm within the astral dimension, like a dream within a dream type of situation, a realm within the realm, where if you manage to go there, all your wishes come true. At least that's the premise, that's the mission briefing. So you will find the concert master Oneiros awaiting for you in a glass tower, in a huge building in a megalopolis, in a city filled with lucid dreamers, corporate sharks, and monks in meditative trances. What sort of weird combination of NPCs, you might wonder, is this? And what alliances and what sorts of interactions you might have with them, you might wonder. Before we get into the depth of the world, as I say today, we're gonna go a little bit of an overview, then we're gonna discuss about the dimension of Astral itself and all the mechanics and the wonders and the terrors that can be found there. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about Oneiros himself, the concert master, and Then we will talk about the multiversal faction that is giving the players this mission, the Collectiva. And lastly, we're gonna enter the spoiler territory, and through the very few, I should say, playtests I already had with members of the community, I will get into spoiler territory, knowing that this is not exactly a pre-made story that goes point A to B to C and then game over. Instead, all three Metanthropes anthology series offer players, offer narrators, I suppose, who are reading it and about to narrate it to their players, a rich character development and rich setting development, and gives you various possible resolutions to a scene on the entire story, and then you take it from there and you let your group, yourself as a narrator and your players, decide where you want to take the narration, how they want to behave in a world such as this, and so on. So what exactly is this world? So if you are a concert master, aka the most powerful metanthrope of an entire timeline, no matter what your arsenal of meta powers really is, you have you're quite powerful, to simply put it. But power translates and reflects different depending on who you are and what your meta powers are in this game. In the particular case of Oneiros, also known as the Lord of Dreams, has an flux, if I say, of psychic powers. He's a renowned across the multiverse manipulator, like liar, seducer, like very persuasive, like extreme meta, should I say, persuasive, and charismatic beyond belief. And these are his weapons, and he uses them very well. He uses them by having an entire timeline influence in a way, entire globe, entire Earth, in a way that everything spins around dreams, sleeping, subconscious, medication, and meditation. So the reason behind all this strange construction of an entire timeline is that the very nature of the astral dimension is influenced by the subconscious thoughts and dreams of every living sentient organism, really. So by having control over when people are dreaming, how they are dreaming, and when they are meditating, what their thoughts are, and what trance they are after, you can actually influence the astral dimension, which is the realm of dreams, and therefore have power there. And so the players will be asked to navigate an intricate web of inter-timeline espionage, where dreams and stray desires become tangible, and your thoughts, feelings, and imagination reshape the landscapes and the environment around you. Oh, wow, we are joined by our very own Wermund Gray, the creator and artist behind those 3 covers, nay, actually 4 covers now with introductory zine. She is indeed the creator of Oneiros. It's somewhere there, I have a slideshow, you will definitely see him sliding there his way in and out. And today is all about the astral dimension. It's a lore stream and a live interaction with the chat apparently, and we are digging our claws and our teeth into the astral story and zine today. So will you manifest your deepest desires when you go there, or awaken your worst nightmares? It's up to you, and I suppose the roles that you make in game once the story begins. So will you dare to cross the final door and make an unlimited wish in a realm where beings of pure psychic energy and incarnated deities run supreme? A lot to contemplate and dissectomize, I think, or something like that here. A lot to analyze better. So let's talk about this unlimited wish. Unlimited wish is a fascinating concept that exists throughout fiction, really, where basically as a player you can go to the narrator, sit, get the map, sit your beautiful ass down and tell what's happening next. In theory, that's how it should work. Is it in-game? Is it true? Is it an elaborate ploy by Oneiros? Is it... who knows? It's up to the players to figure out. Again, we're not yet in the spoiler territory. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the Astral, because I think everything will be more clear once you have a better understanding of the realm where you enter. So the Astral dimension is a primarily, not actually completely psychic dimension that exists parallel with the reality. Everything found there is corresponding to whatever is happening to the material location. So if a person is dreaming in a bed and you find yourself in that location inside Astral, the surroundings will be the dream of the dreamer, the dreamer's dream. So besides dream, also imagination and subliminal thoughts also take form and shape inside Astral dimension. And your very ideas and the myths that humanity have produced over the millennia, centuries, however, whatever long we're living, there take shape and become actually NPCs that you can interact. So this one is a vast, nearly limitless landscape, which is constrained only by the collective imagination of all beings. And as long as there are beings out there, as long as there are dreamers and believers and great thinkers, the Astral dimension will flourish. Let's say that the world went kaput for some reason, all the humans went kaput and Metanthropes, the Astral dimension will slowly wither and subside. So it kind of relies on the consciousness of sentient beings. Some visit the Astral dimension to spy on the dreams of others and prey upon their very own subconscious, while others hold it as a sacred place, as a gateway to many other dimensions where legends and deities forged by human belief or imagination can be found, and there are even stranger tales about natives and visitors in the land of dreams. So how exactly does it look and feel like? What is exactly this narrator supposed to narrate to their players once inside? So the main characteristics there is the silver mists of Astral. They are night transparent, silvery mists, often infused with pinkish psychic energies that seem to rise from nowhere and everywhere. They primitate, that's a difficult word to pronounce, the very dimension. So it could be something subtle as the silver mists of Astral merging with a normal mist, like a weather effect, or the clouds, or someone smoking, or like the fireplace, or whatever produces smoke, gas of any kind, could be one with the mists. Or on the other hand, should you find yourself deeper into the rabbit hole, should I say, maybe, just maybe, the entirety around you is completely filled with those silver mists, and it's only an esoteric journey that defines what you see and feel. It's not really actually nothing there physically, it's just everything happening on your mind. Greetings to our very own 3-0. 2 of the legendary Metanthropes Anthologies team members are on chat. Woohoo! Shout out and salute to you. And so yeah, senses behave sporadically and often chaotically in Astral. Visuals often seem warped, as colors might change on their own dependently. Sizes and distances may vary, and sounds might be replaced by others in a very unorthodox way. Yes, it's a fine. You found a fine medium to practice your Russian. Taste and smell are typically enhanced because in dreams, it's you know, the senses operate differently, and allowing cosmonauts this way to catch scents and tastes from great distances, or use their sense of touch, and instead of touching, having your hand pass through objects as if they're intangible. And yeah, it's very trippy, very weary. Wormugray, if he doesn't know his Russian, please do tell for everyone to know in chat and recording forever. So the environment has a breathable air. You don't need to wear like a mask or something. The temperature, as we said, is chaotic, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, sometimes both simultaneously, if that's possible. Weather changes are randomly depending on the dreams of the dreamers, much like in the American Gods. Oh, I shouldn't mention this work of art now that the artist behind this cancelled, I suppose. But yeah, dream of snow and snow will appear was the line that I want to say. Whoopsie daisy. But the astral dimension does not obey the laws of physics and nature. Gravity can be different and unexplainable. Oh, all right. Kudos. Kudos, Neil, my friend. The environment, the landscape, day and night cycle, everything can drastically change depending upon the souls of the dreamers, essentially. For example, a person dreaming of a sunny beach, you know, sitting back, sipping on a mimosa in a nice temperature, basically transforms that room around them on the into the astral dimension, into what they're dreaming. But if you walk, let's say you're in an apartment building and you walk the next apartment and the next person is dreaming of a lonely ice cave, again, the temperature and the environment and everything around you will change instantly. So it's a fascinating place. So how exactly can you, what's the mechanic behind influencing astral? Well, it's a multi-action which requires two roles. Both your creativity and consciousness should be successful. So you need to be both creative but also be at peace in a way, or like in a tranquility with your inner soul and mind. So should you fail to your creativity role, you won't be able to influence your surroundings. But should you fail your consciousness role, you will bring your consciousness out, or you should, you know, exceedingly succeed it. You shall influence the environment, but not the location as much as NPCs and characters. So by failing dramatically into that consciousness role, you can actually summon your worst nightmares, and it could be like an actual antagonist that you and the rest of the coalition have to face. Whereas should you super duper succeed, you can bring like your favorite fictional heroes to life to fight beside you, or just talk with them and chill, or like angels and demons and anything other that's fictional. It's a sensitive matter saying like deities are part of like astral dimension without mentioning someone's religion and insulting them or in any way or form. But let's go back in something like ancient Greek pantheon. Okay, I suppose there are not many people who believe in the Greek pantheon right now in today's world, not all that many, but so apologies if you feel offended by considering Zeus a fictional character. But Zeus as a fictional character in my game at least is an incarnation of a deity. It's like the personification of Mount Olympus and lightning and the supreme deity and all. So it's a very, very powerful NPC there. Zeus, Odin, all the whole 9 yards, all the pantheons, all the beautiful pantheons there. So let's talk about energies. So obviously psychic energy is the primordial element in this realm. And every source of damage, again speaking mechanics, that deals damage to you is translated only to psychic damage. So even if you hit someone, you know, with a punch, they receive psychic damage. So the one who has psychic resistance there reigns supreme. But if you die inside the astral dimension, no, actually I shouldn't say that because it's not set in stone. Let's talk about items and locations found there, what expect to be found, what sort of loot can be found, what sort of legendary locations can be found. So, as you know, you can be very creative, obviously, inside Astral, and all your creations can come to life, but you cannot take them with you if you cross a portal or when you wake up. You can maybe keep the notion, like a fleeting notion, write it down in your dream diary, but you cannot take this amazing machine that you forged inside your dream into the material dimension all that easy. You know, with a few meta powers here and there, everything's possible. But there are some locations there that have been built, basically, have been constructed upon years and years of collective imagination and idea sharing between minds. Really, it doesn't have to be Metanthropes, human minds, most likely are the majority. And so center stories of folklore, and especially those who appear to have common attributes across different civilizations, appear in Astral, and sometimes as pocket dimensions inside Astral. So such planes could include the pantheons that I mentioned, all the halls of the, like Mount Olympus can be found as a location there, with all the 12 cool NPCs, gods, and so on. The concepts of heaven and hell, again, apologies to anyone who might find this offensive, but again, it's in game, so I'm not talking about real life or anything. Shambhala, the Summerland, Pindler's Green, again, another cancelled match. No, actually, it's not his idea. I think it's like a sailor's idea or something. Fiddler's Green. Who knows about Fiddler's Green? I think Neil does know a little bit about Fiddler's Green. If so, please do say on chat. Join us on chat. And so other locations. Ooh, Wormgrey does know. So enlighten us with the Fiddler's Green. Because unfortunately or not, again, it's a political situation. Yeah, it's a fable legend. It's like a green place that you go in your dreams or something. But all of these ideas, you know, that exist in dreams, or locations that have been spawned out of imagination and shared collective imagination, do exist there. So the narrator can go wild and create all sorts of wondrous locations to be discovered and explored. But now let's talk about characters, the sort of spirits that can be found there. So let's clarify that all entities from the material dimension do not appear in the astral dimension. So except for the dreamer itself. So the dreamer, you know, it is there in dreaming, and they have like the sun, the beach and the mimosa and all that stuff I described earlier around them. And you can find the NPC dreamer there, and then can actually move in their dreams, you know, depending on the level of your lucid dream capabilities, you might be fully active and full clickable NPC, or you might be, you know, in a very deep sleep and actually sleeping within astral, if that makes sense. So lucid dreamers, and especially those practicing astral projection, like the practice, not the meta power, are much easier to communicate and be found, and even can display some sort of powers there, as if they can be intangible, pass through walls, they can fly, and they can be, you know, eerily and dreamy. And wait, I have message on chat. Afterlife for sailors, maybe. None of us is an expert on Fiddler's Green. It's okay. It's okay. We can Google search it later. So So the Astral Dimension is a home to many peculiar characters, from talking animals, imaginary friends and foes, manifested nightmares, fictional characters from well-known works of fiction, and many other wondrous characters. So basically, all your fictional characters can be found there. And let's say, nothing on my mind right now, like a fictional character that exists in Britain can be found like in the corresponding location of the Astral Dimension, most likely Britain. But as with the animas that we discussed in the Nether lore live stream, there are also animas who are like higher level spirits which exist in Astral. So whereas the entry level spirit are the fantastic, like a fantasy friend, how do you call it, like fantasy friend, that you have as a child, is like an entry level spirit in Astral. But if you take something like Mora, which is like a Greek folklore about sleep paralysis demons, I guess incubus, succubus, and all those ubus creatures, or like all the paralysis demons and all those are like next level, higher level, so they're considered animas in not animals, it's animas. Imaginary friend, thank you so much, brain dead, brain salad. And where were we? We were talking about imaginary, the animas, and sleep paralysis demons, angels, all those things are intermediate animas. But then there are also, as there are scales of power in this game and in this dimension, there are the incarnations, which are basically like, if you have like Zeus or Odin, there will definitely be incarnations, but there might be something new, some fresh ideas that narrators can explore. Let's say that there is a notion in this world that's shared by everybody. Let's say, totally that's out of the top of my head right now. Geographically I don't really have good ideas, but creative I have. Let's say that the entire world lives under the fear of nuclear apocalypse. Since it's a collective thought and a collective fear that's shared with everyone, and all this jazz, it can be an incarnation NPC inside Astral with like nuclear explosions all over their body happening every second or something like that. It's a fresh idea that came out of my mind, and so you can, as a narrator and as a creator, sit down and think what sort of shared notions and ideal and beliefs humanity might have in your timeline, in your game. You can create it as an NPC, as an incarnation NPC. How long am I streaming, I wonder? Okay, about 30 minutes, that's cool. 4 faithful viewers, thank you for being with me. Shout out to all my viewers, shout out to all our backers. We're over 60%, 2 weeks still left, we're getting there. If you want to make a live pledge, it will appear live over there, and I will scream and shout and let it all out. But for now, let's talk about secrets found in the Astral Dimension. First off, let's start with some peculiar use of meta powers there. Some daring cosmonauts have discovered that some meta powers have a more amplified effect while being used there. Obviously, the meta power Astral Projection, which opens gates there and so on, it's a perfect tool to navigate there, and it is amplified when used inside the Astral Dimension. But also hypnotic manipulation, which is all about like putting people to sleep, or warp reality, it's like a highly psychic meta power, have definitely enhanced effects there. And also, depending on the location and the dreamers or those meditating there, you might have an influx of like a massive bonus to any psychic powers that you use at all. So let's say, I'll give you an example because it might be a bit confusing. Let's say we have a temple with meditating monks. if you might use any meta power, which is like expanding consciousness or mind reading or doing any psychic really stuff, it might be greatly amplified. Or on the other hand, if you know there are writers sent you in Antarctica where there are like no humans for miles upon miles upon miles or something, you might have like a penalty to all your psychic abilities. Again, these are not set in stone rules of the game. It's up to the table and the preferences and the situations that happening in the story. So we mentioned how Astral Dimension can be a gateway to many pocket realms, realm within a realm, dream within a dream situation. Why is that? Because through you know, since this is basically the dimension of the mind, you could say, there are other also dimensions that are tied to the mind. It's easy pathway from one way to another. So let's give you some example. The digital dimension, which is accessed with technopathy, it's like telepathy but for technology, has definitely many circuits, pun intended, ways to get yourself from the digital dimension to the astral dimension. And then counts for many others. And there are actually other dimensions which are like pocket realms who can all be accessed through Astral but not part of Astral. One of such locations, in theory, is the profound final door that the concert master Oneiros wishes you to find and discover. And so what else can be found? Other secrets I am able to share with you. So yeah, you may find there are reports of encounters with night hags, fairies, demons, angels, pantheons, and some say that if inside Astral you fly and you fly far and far away, so far away that you actually leave the clutches of, you know, the stratosphere, and you find yourself in the vacuum of space where there are no psychic thoughts at all, and somehow you, as a daring and powerful cosmonaut, you still manage to travel through the vacuum of space, you know, with the speed of light. Some say that there might be some alien astral dimensions forged by the collective communication, thoughts, imagination, and emotions of alien collectives and alien beings. Ooh, that's insane. That's insane, but it's not an easy thing to do. So let's talk a little bit about our friend, the trusty, friendly, trustworthy Concertmaster Oneiros, the Lord of Dreams. One NPC that everybody likes and everybody trusts. If in case it's not clear just yet. Yeah, well, the thing is that if you don't like and trust, Oneiros has the meta powers to make your character, unfortunately, trust and like them. Classic Oneiros. Indeed, Neil. He's he's a silver tongue soothsayer. Of that, another difficult word, and yeah, definitely a nice guy, a trustworthy fella. So in all seriousness, the players, the protagonists, will find Oneiros in the tallest building, the most the biggest megalopolis of that entire timeline. It's neither New York nor Dubai. He has built somewhere his own. In this timeline, there's a new capital, like metropolis of the world. And there, it's a very... Oh, Luke has joined us. Greetings and salutations. Been a while. Let me... Baltic. Let me share with our dear audience who you are, because you are a living legend, and everything is happening thanks to you, because you are the first friend I met online really and played games with outside of my own little circle or big circle, doesn't matter. But outside of my circle, you were the one who welcomed me with open arms and a warm bear hug. So we are talking about Metanthropes Anthologies, which is live and it's past its halfway point, 60% getting towards its goal. Have live interactions with chat. If you want to pledge, you can do so, and we shall see the result live over there. And I'm gonna scream and shout a little loud. And we're talking about the lore of the game and specifically the Zine Astral. So it's a very dreamy stream tonight, should I say. So listen to my enchanting voice and allow me to take you the realms of dreams and stray desires. This is a voice of the NPC that you see on your screen, I think right now, or like slideshowing in and out. It's been like a year or something since Legitamine has streamed, but now we're very, very active, and we will be for at least for the next 2 weeks. Every day is a stream day on our channel, whether we'll be talking about lore or having like live playtests with the community, or a new podcast series, I don't know if you checked it, Legitcast, where I'm having a chat with other creators participating in ZineQuest 2025 and talking about the highs and the lows of creating a zine, really, and participating in this endeavor. Ooh. Oh, we were gonna send you, so yes, Wormungray confirms it live here, as we will be honored to have Wormungray finish this cover streaming here on our beautiful little setup channel next week. So definitely another stream that we will enter our schedule. You can check our schedule on our page, and let's get back into storytelling and an in-depth analysis of the concert master Oneiros, this centerfold figure of this entire story. So you are a very, very powerful metanthrope who has all the psychic powers in the world, especially when it comes to dreams and manipulating people and mind controlling and all that beautiful jazz. So what do? You create an entire timeline that spins around dreams. And how does it really work? Say you have like the rich people with medication every day having the best dreams. It's like a dystopia where the poor on the streets scream, addicted to like sleeping pills, and scream with nightmares every day. But you go to the upper echelons of this world, and there's no more upper echelon than the Tower of Oneiros. It's a building that's entirety with, okay, you might find a lot of corporate, like how you call them, pharma sharks, like from pharmaceuticals, but you will also find like monks of various religions and practices and disciples practicing meditation there. So we have medication and meditation, and also you might find all sorts of bizarre NPCs who are lucid dreamers, astral projectionists, characters who like drink chamomile, and security guards open their doors as if they're the CEO or something. So it's a very weird place. And why does Oneiros gathered this assembly of colorful characters? Because they all help him quantify and construct the astral dimension however he wishes. And by bringing all the monks who meditate, all the best dreamers, all the lucid dreamers who can actually influence the world of dreams, and by giving them jobs, really, like I'm talking about top tier world-class jobs, as if they're actors or CEOs or whatever, and orders them, I want you to dream exactly that in that moment, and so on. He plays a different type of play and creates a web of silver mists of astral and psychic energies and political backstabbing that the players will find themselves into. And without getting to spoiler territory, I don't want to say anything more here, but we can talk a little bit more about this political backstabbing, the inter-timeline espionage, and some other interesting, should I say, intriguing aspects of this story, because not all about subconscious dreams, it's a lot about politics and navigating yourself in a very dangerous, but a different type of danger, political, geopolitical drama. So, enter the multiversal faction Collectiva. They are the Metanthropes who value psychic energies and the collective subconscious of everyone above all. And they are the ones who will send this, the Metanthropes and the conductor NPC Thiruvati that you might have seen on the introductory zine on this particular mission. And the Collectiva envisions a unification between all Metanthropes and all humans across all timelines. So basically they want to create a web where all the beings capable of influencing the psychic realm as a whole need to be a collective, need to be working together, but also like their minds and psyche need to be synced. Operating often from the ethereal astral dimension, they harness psychic energies and bridge the gap between diverse beings, including humans, Metanthropes, but also other collective existences that might exist out there. They are master social engineers. The Collectiva uses their abilities to subtly blend and reshape the political structures of all the human societies that they influence, much like Oneiros does, but maybe hopefully in a more humane way, should I say. And their influence extends deep into interfaction politics. They're basically the only ones above all the other multiversal factions that care about those things, or at least openly, where they maneuver strategically, create alliances, all under the premise that they work together for a unified singularity of a testament to human and Metanthrope psychic energies combined. So send an emoji on chat if you find things that I'm saying fascinating, because I find them pretty fascinating. And so the players will find all sorts of weird NPCs, and not just human NPCs, Metanthrope NPCs, and some of them will be agents for multiversal factions, some for Collectiva, maybe others for some others. Thank you, Neil. And maybe, just maybe, some of these NPCs won't be openly saying like, this is my ID, I work for this and that, and all this like an old thingy, but we can celebrate with me 10 years of this, like 1 year anniversary of the channel, but we can celebrate with me. Oh, how does that? That's very cool. 10 years of Legitamine and 1 year of streaming and 1 year of company. We have lots of things to celebrate. So thank you for celebrating with us. We're Moongray, and let's get back into Collectiva stuff. Yeah, so there will be some pretending to be non-involved in all this politics where they really are, where others will present themselves as this type of person where they're really someone else. And there's a lot of, navigating with your roleplay and making alliances, not making enemies, not giving out secrets of whoever is where you share your allegiance, hold your allegiance, if you hold any. And on the other hand, you might believe in their vision, and you realize that this is the only way for the Metanthropes to survive all those omni threats that exist out there in the multiverse, with us being a collective. It is an interesting proposition, to say the least, and a valiant cause. But what the multiversal factions have seen is how other alien collective hive minds operate, and they definitely have felt overwhelmed. And this is one of the main reasons that this multiversal faction has been conceived. It was all of them who wished to play, I don't know, mayor, and all those who believe that they can lead humanity or lead the Metanthrope nation, or like Metanthrope species, to a better future. So there is a lot of beliefs here, a lot of politics, and a lot of interesting subjects to explore with your group as a narrator. You could lean into the dreamy and subconscious and esoteric journey stuff, or you could lean to the politics, backstabbing, or you can have like completely guns blazing. Where the fuck is Oneros? it's an RPG. You can do whatever you like. So as we're getting it's only 1 hour. Nether lasted longer than that, because we're entering we talked about Astral, talked about the mission and the setting, we talked a little bit about Oneros, and now I think we should enter the spoiler territory. Again, it's not a pre-made story, so I won't tell you the ending because I don't know the ending. You forge the ending. Every anthology story, every anthology zine has interesting and in-depth character development, interesting and to be discovered locations, and resolutions to possible scene or ending to the whole story, possible resolutions. And then, as I always say, if you know the characters well and if you know the interactions well, you can forge any path. You will have all the tools to create the ending that you wish, befitting, the preference of your group. So let me change the playlist, something a little bit more mysterious, as we get to the final act of this live stream, which is all about spoilery stuff. Again, I haven't played nearly half as many times as I would like the anthologies as a complete saga, and I've only played it with members of the community, alpha members of the community, and of course RX Oliver and his crew and his channel, his 18. Shout out to Oliver, there he is. And so the mission begins by the players entering this new timeline, and they find themselves in this megalopolis, which is Metropolis or Megalopolis, I'm not sure. I'm using it entirely right. And it is a modern city, and once they find themselves there, sorry, I'm also looking for something, multitasking, always difficult. Luke, if you're still with us on chat, the boys Baldic, you taught me that you can multitask and do many things equally bad, So once the protagonists find themselves engulfed by the bright light that takes them from timeline to timeline, only generated by the conductors of the wheel, they find themselves in a world eerily similar to our own, but yet undeniably different. Towering skyscrapers dominate the horizon, and at the time that they enter, the sun has just started to shine, but everything is covered and illuminated into a beautiful pinkish gold colors. They may or may not play a more important role than you may think. So the protagonist would expect to find in such a big capital city a lot of commotion when the sun is shining, people on the streets working, shouting, taxis, so on. And yet there is a weird setting where there are only a very few people on the streets. There are very active, a lot of militia or police with gas masks and on, checking people on the streets. Why are you here this time an hour? There are a lot of automated self-driving trucks with many corporate logos of various corporations, most likely all like under the umbrella of Oneiro's own company, who is also the CEO. He's a concert master, also the CEO, and in this timeline in the biggest company. But also the players will look at surprise, disgust, or excitement. I don't know, whatever clicks you. A lot of huge like New York City upon the building's screens, which play advertisements, and they will start to see a pattern that like most advertisements, like top tier brands, have like Oneiros himself on the advertisement, video spot. So you might see something like Calvin Klein, you see him like with very fashionable clothes, looking like all modelish. Or you might see like, perfume, or him driving like a Formula One, or this and that. And they will start to see that this entire city really spins around this egomaniac, egocentric, nice guy. So as the sunrise bathes the city in hues of pink and gold, suddenly the city will wake up and it will be filled with people going to their businesses, ordering their taxis and shouting at their phones and doing whatever the people do in city that just woken up. And they will start to realize that this is like clockwork, like when you sleep, when you work, you do this and that, automations. Much like in all these dystopia scenarios and worlds, some things, paradoxically work even better. So there's like there's no crime. If you're feeling depressed, you just take medication, boom, all your problems go away. I suppose this is not like a good thing in any way or form, but what I mean is like it's a different landscape. So it might be a modern world, modern setting, but all the rules are different. Like the jobs that are important, the people, you might find like someone dressed as a bum, like smoking herbs and drinking chamomile and wrapped up with a blanket, walking around in slippers and pajamas, walking around like the top companies building in the world. And like again, the security guard will be opening doors and letting them in as if they are like the CTO or whatever. And they might actually be like a chief executive of Dream Construction or something. They have different jobs, different ideas. So it's a modern world, much like our own, but again, really and totally different. So eventually they will enter. They will talk with some NPCs, they will talk among themselves, they will figure things out, and they will enter Oneiros' domain, Oneiros' tower. And Oneiros will be waiting for them. It's not like a Matrix 1 situation where you go and shoot your way in. Again, unless you really want to, and this is what you want to play. Super cool with that. Won't be easy, a lot of guards, definitely. But if you don't choose any hostile way, you will be meted by an important NPC of the story, Desdemona Rayleigh. Overslept to work to another level. Yeah, definitely. You will be like, whoa, you slept 2 hours extra? You're being promoted. Greetings to our number one guest. And I was wondering where you would come. Greetings, Ziggy Devildor, Ayuk Stardust. We are joined by many wondrous and wonderful members of the community. My heart goes out to you. I won't do any weird hand gestures. So apologies for that. I really want to say that expression and now it's ruined. So let's get back to non-reality, because reality kinda sucks, and get into this. We're talking about this character Desdemona, who's like a chief executive, like very important person there, but also a metanthrope. If you know the characters, the protagonists have powers to identify her as a metanthrope she is, and she will take them to meet 2 other metanthropes who have the best intel about what this pocket realm, where all your wishes come true, is really all about, how it can be found. And depending on the questions that the players will ask, you might find some very fruitful answers. So one of the 2 NPCs is a monk. Zhang is young, disciplined as a monk should be, but again, very nervous when they're found, because we are talking about a metanthrope with 6 sense who has the regression disbelief. So they really don't believe that they are meta, they are meta powered, they are special in any way. And she in particular has convinced herself that she has a very powerful mind, which is true, but not necessarily meta powered mind, and B, that all of this is a dream or something. C is the NPC who has managed to almost get to the final door most times out of everybody, but none was managed to enter the final door. Whereas on the other side, the other NPC, we have Henry, who is one of those characters walking around with their slippers and pajamas and drinking chamomile and so on, and many questionable herbs. And this particular NPC, who is also a metanthrope, this one has metacognition, like the fourth wall breaking powers, which alone creates very interesting possibilities. And this one was like the master lucid dreamer or something, like most of his life, not just after his metamorphosis, is the only one who has managed to enter this final door and make an unlimited wish. Again, since we are in the spoiler territory, that unlimited wish, this very bizarre and fun to roleplay definitely NPC has made, was he just wished to get there once again, because he wasn't ready to ask that unlimited wish. So his unlimited wish was a wish to come back here again, so I will have more time to think. And since it's an unlimited wish, no matter what happens, this character will enter this final realm once again. Will he enter to help, at the final hour, the protagonists, or not? Who knows? So each of these three NPCs, Desdemona, Henry, and Zhang, they can have, they have their own background, but they have ways, open doors, should I say, again, pun intended, for the narrator to put them under a different multiversal faction and cause a lot of drama and a lot of interesting dynamics depending on the players and what their situations and beliefs and allegiances are. So in theory, the players, since they've already started to climb the tower and they've reached this point, they should gather as much intel as possible, because the next scene will take them to the top floor where they will meet Oneiros and eventually enter the astral dimension. Now Oneiros can take them there at any time. So whether they wish to sleep or take a sedative or just go through a portal, or they refuse to enter the astral dimension, it doesn't really matter for Oneiros. He will make sure that they will enter it one or the other way. And Oneiros, much like all our three center concert master protagonists of the entire Anthologies series, all three zines, know what the power of a protagonist is. So protagonist is a player character really, so it's a metanthrope, but the one who is controlled by the players. And since there are fourth wall breaking powers in this game and meta cognitive powers in this game and meta narrative, they know who the protagonists are, and they know that wherever they go, destiny follows really, and they want to use them for their own means. And definitely Oneiros wants to use them so that he will be the one who enters the final door and makes an unlimited wish. And the players will be aware of this also in game, as most likely any one of the three aforementioned NPCs will quite possibly tell them that. On the other hand, on the playtests I've played, there are times that things go completely different, and that's the very essence of it. That's the very essence of playing a TTRPG: improvisation and following the crazy whims of your players on the spot. Unlimited wishes are tight, says Ziggy, and indeed they're tight. So I asked the audience now live, playing a TTRPG, whether that would be Metanthropes or, you know, D&D 3.5 or whatnot, if you had a limited wish, what would you wish? But just one wish. So you cannot say, you know, forever I want to take, you know, this and that. All those words, you know, there's like an anatomy of a wish. It's very difficult to write and compose a wish that will come to fruition. And this might be one of the secrets and spoiler of possible endings for this story. It's a classic like, I wish to live forever. Perfect, you live forever in hell. I wish for 1,000,000 gold. This is actually a wish that one of my players in Dungeons & Dragons have asked as soon as they've reached this level 9 spell or found like the wishing ring or whatever, and they wish for like 1,000,000 gold or something. It's like you're getting crushed by 1,000,000 gold that falls into your head. So there's like this, like the deal with the devil, I suppose. It's the theme. You always get what you ask, but not in the way that you asked. There is a lot. Lol. That's a lol way to spend your unlimited wish, Neil. It's an unlimited wish, man. I just wish for a burger and a cola. So yeah, definitely. What would you wish if you had an unlimited wish? But there is also, since we are the total, you know, the depth of the iceberg, the deepest layer of the spoilers, Oneiros has been a very, very naughty boy and has made a deal with one of those hive minds, collective hive minds that exist out there. And it's exactly the same hive mind that's found in the other zine and story, which we're going to cover in a couple of days in another stream. So there's definitely an underlying overarching storyline combining all three zines, but also setting the building blocks for the mythos and world building of Metanthropes in the future. I hope you had fun listening to all those enchanting and dreaming, seductive ASMR stories. I hope you had fun contemplating what would it be for your characters to be in this dimension, in this tower of corporate sharks and meditating monks in trances and lucid dreamers and Metanthrope with sixth sense in disbelief and you know, all those colorful, wonderful characters. How would you navigate? How would you survive? And what would you do? So, concluding and finalizing this stream, I want to thank all of our backers who have helped us reach 60% this way already. I want to thank members of our community. Shout out to MB, shout out to Gold, shout out to Carl. Shout out to all the team, the development team working on Metanthropes. And shout out to all the Metanthropes out there undergoing their metamorphoses, believing in themselves, and fulfilling their destiny. Tomorrow we have a live stream with it's a legit cast. We are joined by George of I'm a bit confused because 2 days ago we had a George and I'm not sure which game is George's. Believing in ourselves is hard on everybody. Right now, I don't know if it's harder than, you know, usual, but I want to share with you that there is a lot of disbelief in many things in my mind these days as well, and a lot of reconstruction. But, you know, always remember what your North Star is, Neil, North Star, and having your creativity, imagination, and your love as your compass and you don't have to believe in yourself like your ego id mind. Just believe in your super ego deep id. I'm not sure. Yeah, like I've ruined Neil Stay Legit and Stay Meta many times. It's like a never-ending ending. It's like Lord of the Rings here. It doesn't know when to end. All right, I will take my cue for that. And I maybe, since we are 5, maybe I will raid someone. So sit on tight. Someone playing TTRPGs and not boring D&D. Everybody's playing boring D&D. Oh, Wounded Warrior. Not sure who they are. Maybe I will join them. Thank you so much for joining us. I have been your host and narrator, John. Every day is a live stream for the next 2 weeks. There will be lots also of videos, how to play. We have a quick start. That's like 99% ready. We're gonna share for free with all the community. That's a big reveal. We should have it when we went live. It's okay. We have it now, and it shows the how all the series is gonna look like. It's a draft, but it's already amazing. Has concept art from AJ from Robot Pencil. It has lots of cool stuff. One Sick Puppy, creative design, amazing work. We can't wait to share it with you. This is our next big thing, really. And thank you for watching. Thank you for, let me double check the name, Wounded Warrior Project. Wounded Warrior Project. So let's get ready to raid, pick up your raiding access, and finally, stay legit and stay I don't know why I did that recording. This will be immortalized now. Stay legit, stay meta!